If you listen really close, you'll hear sirens. So I'm in one of the most intimidating shooting scenarios that a landscape photographer is ever in. We're photographing a lightning storm. And this one got a little too close for comfort. I just started recording because it kind of all started to happen, but we had a rainstorm pass us, and right as it passed us, a storm cell formed right over the top of me. It's not what you want. And in fact, a little bit ago, you might have heard some sirens. There's a fire that started just down there from a lightning strike. Whew. Intimidating. So let me show you what I'm doing. So I have this road leading back to this particular tree, and we have all of these big storm clouds up above, and I'm hoping to get some of these lightning strikes in our background here. The storm is kind of moving kind of northeast, which means it's kind of exiting my frame, unfortunately. So to shoot this, I have a 3-stop ND filter, which gets me to 0.8 seconds. And then I have an intervalometer set up, or I have my intervalometer turned on. So I'm doing a time lapse of an interval of 1 second. So if anything happens in that 0.8 seconds, I should capture it. It's not often I get to shoot these lightning storms, but it's one of my favorite things. It's really intimidating, really dangerous, really scary. Be safe, kids. But man, nothing puts you in your place as a human like a good lightning storm. So no sooner does it start than it's done. I can't believe that there was a fire that literally just burnt for 5 minutes and then the rain put it out, but it was billowing smoke, and the fire crews got called in and now it's completely gone. It's crazy, but this is kind of the curse of where I live. Check this out. This part of Washington State is just known for having big, beautiful skies. We have so many good sunsets, dramatic clouds, storms. We get great weather sometimes. Problem is, there's just nothing to put in the foreground. I have my choice of wheat or lone trees, but mostly wheat, because there's not very many lone trees. It's a really big bummer when we get these big, beautiful skies and nothing to put in the foreground, and it happens a lot, it seems like. I guess that's why I travel. So these are my favorite type of cloud. They are a mammatus cloud. They're typically associated with big thunderstorms and winter storms, and they're probably, they're my favorite cloud. They're just so dramatic and different, really fun to post-process, add a little contrast to that, and they look really awesome. So I'm gonna take a couple more shots as they enter my leading line with the road frame, and then I'm gonna do some shots with the wheat. That's about all I got. But at least we have these really cool skies. So we went from having amazing skies in this direction to having amazing skies in this direction now. So all I really have to work with is the wheat as a foreground. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting down really close to the wheat, and I'm gonna do kind of a vertical composition. In a way, it's so repetitive and simple, it makes it fairly successful because the eye is gonna be drawn to all those beautiful light rays in the background. And later on, if we're lucky, sun's gonna poke underneath all of that cloud cover, maybe, and we could get an amazing sunset. But even if we don't, this is great as it is. We also have a really simple but harmonious color palette. The golden wheat and the kind of cooler tones up in the sky. I think it's going to make for a very simple but pretty successful image. And these are the kind of images that I find sell the best. It's not the big dramatic Mordor landscape. It's the more simple, brighter, and happier type image. So what I'm doing is I'm focusing on the foreground, f16, ISO 100, and then I'm doing a focus stack, focusing at about 4 different places throughout the image. And in this situation, I'm just exposing for the highlights. I don't need to bracket because our foreground is so bright. You know, it's that bright yellow, which really makes it a low dynamic range scene, even though we're looking straight at our light source. So exposing for highlights, ISO 100, f16, focus stack, bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna do a vertical composition as well as a horizontal. I think they'll turn out pretty well. Also, another thing I want to point out is the fact that I'm not standing in the wheat. It's kind of a common courtesy thing to not go walking through people's crops, people's livelihoods. Not cool, so don't stand in the wheat. So I think the moral of today's video, or the theme of today's video, is the fact that we get our best conditions oftentimes close to home, because it's somewhere that you can get to quickly and spontaneously. You see the weather doing something interesting, you can go out. And even if you don't have those grand, epic landscapes that people travel to go see, it's still worth going out and shooting. Because sometimes the amazing conditions, the dramatic weather, sometimes that is the story, sometimes that is the subject, and it's very much worth shooting. So pay attention to the weather, and when you see interesting weather developing, go out and take the time to shoot, because that's oftentimes where I get my favorite images. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and hit that little notification bell, and we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, everybody.